بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. Brothers and sisters, all praise belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who has given us the ability, the opportunity to come to His house. We ask Allah to accept our ibadah and forgive our shortcomings. We ask the Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us the khair of this day and protect us from all types of evil. As we are going through the series of preparing ourselves spiritually as well as physically for the month of Ramadan, in last week's session we talked about the importance of developing a positive approach to our salah and making it better for ourselves. We spoke about different avenues of tahara, wudu, concentration, praying with congregation. These are all factors which makes a person's prayer more effective and accepted in the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The month of Ramadan has been given to the believers as an obligatory act of fasting. In this month, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mandated fasting upon the believers. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, taking the approach of the month of Ramadan, he used to fast throughout the month of Sha'ban to prepare himself. So a minimum factor or a minimum thing that a person can do is try to do at least some fast in the month of Sha'ban. To start off with 3 days at least, and these are Ayyamul Bidh, which we are currently in. Today is the 13th, tomorrow is the 14th, and then Friday will be the 15th of Sha'ban. And these 3 days are known to be Ayyamul Bidh, the white days of the month. And it was a habit of Nabi alayhi salatu wassalam that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam would encourage the Sahaba to fast 3 days every single month. What is fasting? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, "As-sawmu junnatun." Fasting is a shield. It's a shield that a person develops around him, which secures him from inside. So fasting has been given a very important factor, or very important ibadah in the life of this believer. And this is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it mandatory for the believers to fast. In the beginning, there were only one day that was made obligatory in the entire year that the believers were told to fast. After migrating to Medina, the second year before the Battle of Badr, that same year in the month of Sha'ban, the order of fasting was revealed to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. That, O believers, Allah has made fasting obligatory upon you, like it was obligatory for the people who came in the past. So fasting is something that was made obligatory upon every ummah until the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, including the ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And why this act was made obligatory from the inception of humanity? Because this act is a must and need for this human being. There are two things. There are the desires of this human being, and then there are the fulfillment of desires of this human being. When a person starts to consume things, their desires start to develop in his life. The more consumption, the greater the desire is. Because the purpose of desire is to increase the more it's fulfilled. And the example in the hadith that Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam has given, it's like the fire and wood. The fire is the one that eats your wood. So your fire is your desire. Your inside desire is like the fire. And whatever desire you're fulfilling, that's like wood. Now you fulfill one desire, a second desire develops. Because now, once the fire is eating the wood, this fire is going to finish. And if you want to keep that fire going, it's going to require more wood. So similarly, when a desire is fulfilled, it's going to require another desire. And the second to the third to the fourth, and then this continues. When a person starts to fast, the fire of desire starts to decrease. Why? Because now you are stopping yourself physically from doing things which Allah has made, which Allah Azza wa Jal has made forbidden upon you. You can't eat. You can't drink anything. You have to be in a stage of hunger from certain time to certain time in a day. These are all factors which decreases the desire of human being. And the Prophet ﷺ said that what is the compensation of fasting? What do you get after fasting? As-sabr, patience. Because patience is something, what you want something in your life, but you're stopping yourself. You're not going closer. And the more you avoid, the stronger will you will have to stop yourself from going to it. And fasting develops that ability inside you. This is why Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam recommended that fasting should happen every single month in the life of every believer. 3 stages. You fast 3 days a month. If you have greater strength, then you fast 2 days a week, Mondays and Thursdays. And if you have a greater strength and ability, then you fast every other day. فَإِنَّهُ صِيَامُ دَاوُودَ. As the Prophet ﷺ said, this is the fasting of Dawood alayhi salam. So fasting is a very great ibadah. And fasting is the most sincere worship that a person can do. The most sincere worship. Why? Because in that act, no one knows you're doing it. If I'm fasting, if you're fasting, you don't announce it to people. You don't, say anything. It's just you keep your fast. It's between you and it's the act that develops sincerity, ikhlas in your life. This is why you see in the life of Sahaba, they had a lot of sincerity. Because they used to keep their fasting and they used to do their ibadah in a very secretive manner. Today, when we do something, shaitan finds the best of us and he tries to explode our actions. He tries to explode our actions to let everybody know that I'm doing this action. So that's the first thing. Now, the fasting goes through 3 stages. Al-Ghazali mentions in Ihya, صوم العموم, صوم الخواص, وصوم خواص الخواص. The fasting of the general masses, the fasting of the selective few, and the fasting of the elite from the selected few. So inshallah, we'll go through all of these 3 stages in the upcoming week so that we are able to maximize the benefit of fasting when the month of Ramadan comes. Because Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam used to fast in the month of Sha'ban to give strength to his month, to his fasting in the month of Ramadan, which is an obligatory fast. When you do an optional ibadah before the obligatory ibadah, your obligatory ibadah becomes strong. That's why if you pray 2 rak'ah sunnah or you pray your sunnah before the fard, your fard becomes stronger. Similarly, if you do voluntary fasting in the month of Sha'ban, the fasting of the month of Ramadan becomes stronger. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us the understanding and the ability to practice. Amin ya Rabbal Alameen. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi. Subhanak Allahumma wa bihamdik. Wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu